everyone. I believe everyone is doing great and awesome. And I welcome you back again to my YouTube channel, the Dutta Dialogues. So, today, in continuation to what we have learned in the previous sessions, in the previous videos around controls, around the control lifecycle, today we are going to cover a very important topic which is control compliance scoring. As you know, the compliance scores are captured on individual controls so that they can proactively monitor and collect evidence at the operational level. So, if I talk about the organizations, how they track this, they track it at the control level itself to ensure that the different policies and authority documents are being followed, right? So, it is the mappings for policy to control objective to control. The system automatically calculates the compliance score percentage based on the number of controls that are compliant versus non-compliant. So to understand this logic about the hierarchy between the policy and the control objective to the control, we will be seeing in the next slide. But each control is tested either manually or automated, and its compliance score is aggregated all the way up to the policy or an authority document level. So basically, if you want to track if a policy is being followed properly and what is the compliance percentage, you can understand that with the help of the scoring logic, which I'm going to teach today. So, as I said, it's very important to understand this hierarchy so that you will understand how the compliance score rolls up to the policy level or the authority document level, right? So to start with, we have this authority document, which is nothing but the external regulations or external frameworks which has been set by the authorities. Likewise, we have internal policies which has been set by the organization itself, and a company needs to follow that. So all of these things are linked here. And as you know, authority document consists of different sentences inside that particular authority document, and those sentences are nothing but different citations. And the citation, you will be able to find that in the control objective level. So the control objective will have a citation, a policy, and of course the scoping of the entities with the help of entity type will give me the entity. Once we add the entity type to the control objective, as you can see this flow, the control instantiation happens, right? And a control gets generated. Okay. Sorry for my wordings here. It should be control objective. It's not control, of course. So it should be control objective. Now, if you see, a control will have a entity. That means any person, people, object where you want to actually measure the compliance of an entity, you need to follow a control or apply a control. So this entity will apply this control, and you will have the different phases of the life cycle of a control. It will be followed, and end of it, you will get to know whether this control is a compliant control or non-compliant. So I hope you understand this hierarchy. Now moving on to understand the scoring logic. What exactly happens? So for that, we have an entity, and how it is weighted, you will get to know from this. It's the summation of the compliant weighted controls by all weighted controls. So let's say you have these 5 different controls. One is control 1, control 2, control 3, 4, and 5 respectively. Control 1 is compliant and its weight is 10. Likewise, for control 2, even that is compliant, the weight is 10. So that means these two controls are compliant and the weight will be taken. That means 10 plus 10. And if you see the control, which is 3, it is non-compliant. That's why it has not been considered. It is just 10 plus 10. It is not 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 30. It is not like that. And of course, the controls which are not applicable or retired that will never be actually taken into consideration. So what we'll be eyeing for is the controls which are compliant. Okay, so it will be taking the summation of the compliant controls divided by the number of controls which are compliant and non-compliant. So only these three controls will be taken into consideration, and at the entity level for a specific control you will get to understand the compliance score. Okay, now if, let's say, if it is non-weighted, so it is weighted and it has a different weight placed here. So this is again the summation of compliant controls divided by all controls, and it will be taken as 1 plus 1 divided by the three different controls which are non-compliant. Okay, so the percentage is 67% which is coming, but for the ones which is weighted, you have 10 plus 10 divided by 10 plus 10 plus 20, which is 1 2 3 control into 100 equals to 50%. Now, to understand this logic in a very funny way, let me cook something as a chef. Okay, now try to understand this logic. Okay, it's about a scenario where the chef's dish score will be calculated. Imagine there's a chef is being graded on a dish. The ingredients represent the controls. Okay, some ingredients made it into the pot, which is applicable, and some stayed on the shelf, which are non-applicable. All right, or retired maybe. Okay, now number 1 and 2 control. So try to understand this with the above picture, which is control 1 and 2. That means these fresh herbs and ripe tomato, they are actually good to get into the dish and they are compliant. Let's say there's a burned toast. Okay, this is bad or non-compliant. Now control 4, which is the salt, which is optional, so not needed for this recipe, so it is not applicable. And finally the expired milk, which anyways you don't want to put a milk which is expired, so we need to throw it away, so that means it's a retired control. Okay, now let's try to understand the flavor logic. Okay, now the result is 50%. How it is coming? So let's try to understand in a very unusual way. This method cares about importance. In this logic, not all ingredients are created equal. The burnt toast is major disaster, which has a weight of 20. Right? Over here, it is 20. Whereas the fresh herbs are only minor success, weight of 10. So let's try to understand some math here. Now success is 10 for the herbs plus 10 for the recipe, ripe tomato, plus the burnt toast, which is coming at around 40. Now the calculation will be the ones which is considered, which is fresh herbs and fresh tomato or ripe tomato, okay, divided by the number of other or total number of ones which will be considered, or the ingredients will be which will be considered, which is fresh herbs, ripe tomato and burnt toast. So that means if you calculate and do some maths, it will be 20, 10 plus 10 20 divided by total, which is 40, which is equals to 50%. And why it matters? Even though you had more good items than bad items, the bad item was so heavy that is it actually dragged your score down to 50% because this had more weight. Okay, now let's try to understand the other way, which is the non-weighted score, the counting method. Let's give it a name as counting method with simple ingredient count. Okay, where the result is coming as 67%. This method is simple counting. It doesn't care about size or flavor or intensity. It just asks you, is it good or bad? The math is one good herb plus one good herb, which is equals to two items. The total possible denominator will be one herb plus one ripe tomato plus 1 toast, which is 3 items, and it will be divided by multiplied by 100. That means 1 plus 1, this 1 plus 1 is nothing but your fresh herbs ripe tomato divided by fresh herbs ripe tomato and burnt toast, which is 1 plus 1 plus 1 into 100 equals to 67%. All right, so let's try and understand in the instance now. So for that, let me go back to my instance. And if you see, I have considered this particular control objective from the compliance workspace. This control objective is this. The name of the control objective is update the system's backup procedures after an approved change has occurred. And we have around 81 controls. And if you see the overview, it is overall compliance is 64%, because out of 81 control, so let me just try to get the ones which is compliant. All right, so let me select the ones which is compliant. So around out of these 81 controls, only 25 are actually compliant. So let me try to open one control and show you the information regarding the weightage. So if you see, this particular control has the weighting as 10. Likewise, other controls, I just assume that all of those has around the weighting is 10. So how it will be calculated? So 25 into 10, which is equals to 250 divided by 81, which are the total number of controls. Let's assume the weight is again 10, so 810. So in total, how it will be calculated? It will be calculated like 250 divided by 810 into 100, and the compliance score percentage will be shown here as 64%. As I mentioned, if you go back to the diagram of this, let me go back with this diagram and show you. So this compliance score is actually measured at the control level, and guess what? This will be shown up to the hierarchy of authority document with the help of citation, and this is for external regulations. For policy, it will be via the control objective, it will be going to the policy. So we'll try to understand from here. So if you see, there is a policy linked to it, which has only one policy, and if you see, the compliance score will be showing over here. Likewise, for citations also, you will see the compliance score will be rolling up the hierarchy, 69%. And this will be completely based on, so basically the example which I'm taking here, say if you see, there is no entity types which has been linked, but ideally in the real world, you need to add one entity type here so that the control instantiation happens. But since this is out of the box and this is how I have got as a demo data, that's why it is not showing up here. However, what will happen in the real world is you need to add an entity type and the controls will be created, and once you take up the attestation, the compliance score will be calculated. So if you take the attestation and let's say you pass it and you provide the evidence, so that means the compliant, so the control will be taken as compliant. If you do not take the attestation, it will not be calculated though if it is in the draft state. But let's imagine if you have told in a way by taking the attestation that the control has not been applied, right? And that will give you status as non-compliant for that very control. So in that kind of example, what will happen is one is compliant, which is having weight of 10 plus 0, that means it will not be considering because it is non-compliant, divided by 10 plus 10, which is 20. So it will be compliance score will be calculated as 50%. Okay. So, with that, I think you now understand the scoring logic and how the roll up happens up to the hierarchy of authority documents and policies via control objectives and citations.